Good morning, guys. This is Sanjay Sabarwal from Sabarwal Law. I wanted to do this quick video on several laws that are going to affect all employers in California, and I will try to go a little slow as there's a lot of information to cover, and I'm going to skip through some of the slides, mainly because I wanted to get to the information. So the most common question that I've been getting recently from clients and businesses alike is, hey, one of my employees just reported that they tested positive for COVID-19. Do I have to report this positive case? Last year, the California legislator found different bills to address this concern because there are several constituencies that needed to be addressed. So there's two laws that were enacted, SB 1159 and AB 685. And recently, on top of that, Cal OSHA also came out with emergency regulations. Now, each of these regulations have their own notice requirements. So I will break them down and go over them one by one, simply because there's just a lot of information to be shared. And so 1159, it'll make a little bit more sense, is really more a workers' comp presumption notice requirement. And it's key because it allows employers and employees to be sure they can file a claim for a workers' comp if it's due to COVID. And it allows insurance companies to be prepared as well. There are three components. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the first two presumptions. The first one being there's a rebuttable presumption for any worker that contracted COVID-19 if they were working between March 19, 2020 and July 2020. And the second being, which kind of is commonsensical, first responders and healthcare personnel, the law presumes that they contracted COVID-19 due to work within 14 days of them working at the place of employment. And finally, the one that affects more employers is any employer that has 5 or more employees. If there's seen to be a COVID outbreak at the place of employment, the new law presumes that the employee contracted COVID-19 from work if they tested positive 14 days after working at the place of work. It was after July 6th, 2020. And then the positive test occurred during an outbreak at the employee's place of employment. And the employer does have 45 days to reject their claim. And in the next slide, I will explain what an outbreak is considered. Under SB 1159, the new law defines outbreak as any of the following. If an employer has 100 or less employees at a specific place of business, 4 employees have to test positive within 14 calendar days, and that's considered to be an outbreak. And that's going to be the standard for a lot of us. If an employer has more than 100 employees at a specific place, and 4%, I do apologize, a typo, 5% of the number of employees test positive within 14 days, it's considered to be an outbreak. Or finally, the one that's more abrupt is if the public authorities under the order the place of employment closed due to a risk of COVID-19. At that point, things that you need to do come into place in the next slide. The first thing you need to do is if an employer has 5 or more employees and should know reasonably that, hey, I must, that an employee of mine has COVID-19, he or she must inform their workers' comp carrier within 3 business days. And the information that they need to inform is that an employee tested positive, the date that the employee tested positive, the address of the employee's work site, and then finally the highest number of employees who reported to the work site within 45 days when the last employee last worked. Again, commonsensical part of it is because you're looking to make sure that the workers' comp needs to know what possible claims could be more than just an employee, could be several people. So that's the first section of this seminar. I will do another video doing the next 2 other statutes that are in effect. I hope you find this helpful. Anyone wants a copy of this presentation or a PDF, let me know. I will also email you sample notices that do need to be sent to an employee that you could use as a template. Thanks, guys.